Welcome, guys. Welcome. As you're joining, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, guys. Welcome to this second episode of Unfiltered Finances. My guest, my special guest, is back. He is back, and I'm so excited. And I promise you, you will definitely learn something from this session. So, wait a couple of minutes as you join. So, welcome one more time to episode number 2 of our Unfiltered Finances live series. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. So, whether you're new to the US or planning to move soon, or you have been here for a while trying to make sense of this system, this episode is surely definitely for you. Tonight, we are diving deep into one of the biggest transitions you will ever face and how to start your financial life in America in this new system. And as you can see, my precious guest, my longtime friend, personal coach, and expert in the biotech field, a biotech professional working in drug discovery. He is so packed. He has so many hats at the same time. So before I introduce him again, we'll talk about how to plan your arrival um, like a pro, how the US credit score system really works. Do you finance or do you buy your first car cash? Which way? We don't know. You'll find out. He will share a lot about that. And also, we'll round up with how to pay off the debt fast. All real talk, practical tips. So stay tuned. Keep joining, and we are here for you. Bring in your question. We are here for you. So I'm joining again tonight with by someone I deeply respect, my good friend, Dr. Donald Camden. As I said previously, he is a biotech professional and researcher. He's a personal finance coach at the same time and an immigrant success story who truly understands and understood what it's like to build from ground up. So at the same time, we have a bonus for you if you stay until the end. And in the description below, you will find some free resources that will really help you start off your financial journey. So grab your notebook, invite a friend, come with some questions, and I believe this life will add value to your journey. Let's build wisdom and wealth that honor God. Let's go. Welcome back, Donald. Welcome back, Dr. Donald. I know you don't like it, but that's how it is. Thank you for being here again. Thank you so much. Welcome on this second episode. I'm glad
Thank
you're here.
thank you very much for having me. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good.
Good, good.
How about you? How's the family?
Doing great. Everyone is doing great and happy to be here. So,
Okay. I'm happy to hear that.
okay.
Yes. Do you have anything to can you summarize what we talked about on the first episode before we move on to our questions?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the first episode was mainly about talking about these unfiltered finance that we plan to do. So it was
Mhm.
mainly about how do you navigate your first days in the US? What are the challenges that people usually face when they reach the US? And I was so happy to see that that video actually we had a lot of viewers in the video.
Yes.
That means that the topic we are actually talking about is something really important, especially
Mhm.
in the immigrant community. And I was also thrilled to see the different comment in the video. And I think that was a first episode, a very successful episode. So we are back today to discuss like about finances again without filter. So real life finance, and maybe I so I have a lot to say about so when you call me and you say, okay, for this episode let's talk about credit score, credit card, debt, car loan, I say yes, a fun one. Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be a fun one, and I know you are really knowledgeable and you have experience actually, and you have also helped me, and I'll get the I'll have the privilege to share how he helped me save $9,000 when we bought our two cars with the stuff we didn't need. Yes, I'm so grateful for that,
I'm still
and
waiting for
he
my tarot plate. The tarot plate to celebrate that one. I'm still
no
waiting for that.
worry. That's not a big deal. I'll get you as many as you want. So
Sure.
so guys,
This is
yeah. So
recorded, right? So I will bring it to you when the time comes.
yes, bring that back to my face. I'll I'll give you what you deserve.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
So
without
happy to be
further
here.
ado, yes, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, happy to be here and can't wait to start.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start then. So without further ado, I'll start with the first question. The first question. So tell me, if you had to land in the US all over again, what are three things you would do differently in your first month here?
Yeah, yeah, that's such an amazing question. And I think a lot of people go through uh, that challenge when they reach the US. The first thing I would say is that you need to know what is your long-term plan in the US,
Mhm,
right? We usually
mhm,
focus, when you're in the US, you just focus on, okay, how can I make money right now? And sometimes we will start to do let's say low pay job. We will have
mhm,
some cash flow and we will think, okay, this is good, and
mhm,
that will take all our mind, and we won't be satisfied in the long run, because you will start to see that your responsibilities are increasing and so on and so forth. So I think the most important thing for someone moving to the US is to know exactly what is my long term plan. And every single day you have to make sure that you do everything that moves you closer to that goal, right? And the second thing I would say is, if you came to the US not as a green card or a permanent resident, the first thing
mhm.
you have to learn is how to move from your visa status to the green card, right?
Yeah.
Because we all know as immigrants that a lot of visas have limitations. So there are stuff that you cannot do when you are on a visa. There are some opportunities that you cannot have access when you are on a visa. So the second most important thing is, what is the road for you to move from that visa to the green
Yeah.
card, right? And don't
Mhm,
trust people. Everyone comes here with a different route, right? If someone,
mhm,
there are people, they are here with DV lottery. Don't think that
mhm,
because they are in the US for 5+ years, 10+ years, they know everything and they can educate you on how to move from your maybe student visa to the green card. So don't
mhm,
trust people that are here before you. Do your due diligence and search. And one side
mhm,
for that is USCIS, the immigration side for that. You will have
mhm,
all the information you need to know how you move from your visa to the green card. I insist on that because the green card is one of the things that will open you doors to various opportunities, right?
mhm.
And the last thing I would say is, make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Make
Okay.
sure you educate yourself to understand your environment. Make sure you
Mhm.
understand everything going around you. That's really important. So
Okay.
plan your arrival, know what you want to do long term, and do
Mhm,
everything that moves you closer to that.
mhm.
uh, Check what is the path for you to move from your visa to the green card. And last thing, educate yourself and make sure you surround yourself with the right people.
Okay. Okay. And then I think you already said that was my next question. Like, how important is it to have a financial plan before? Yes. No, actually, answer this. How important is it um to have a financial plan before your first paycheck, when you after you get your first job? Like, opening a bank account or take a credit card or start getting debts. So tell me something about that. I mean, tell someone who just land his first job. What what plan can the person put in place and why is it important?
No, absolutely. That's such an incredible question, and I think those are the stuff that usually when you join, you don't have someone to hold your hands and to explain you all the detail. We just
Mhm,
know, okay, I need to get a job, I need to open a bank account, and obviously you are in a new environment. Everyone will say
mhm.
you need a credit card, right? You need a credit
Yeah.
card to build your
Mhm,
credit score. So,
mhm,
how do you plan? I think to be able to plan successfully, you need to understand the system. And
yes.
to tell you the truth, you cannot understand the system just in a month or two. It takes some
Mhm,
time of research and uh, doing your due diligence before you can understand the system. So you will probably start by making some mistakes, like most of the people do, and
mhm.
that's why I really like your channel, right? I want to seize this opportunity again to congratulate you and
Thank
support
you.
you, because what you are doing is just amazing, especially for the immigrant community. Is really important to know what you do when you're here now. So I
Mhm.
want to talk about the credit score a little bit, if you don't mind. I think
Okay.
because people when you join, they say, okay, you need a credit score, you need a credit card to build your credit score. What is a credit score, right?
Mhm.
The credit score is a number, first to start, and
Okay.
the Bible says that the borrower is slave to the lender.
Yes.
So the credit score is a number that says how good of a slave you are. So
Yeah,
let me explain better.
that's right.
The credit score actually ranges, so we have various range for the credit score, and
Yes.
this can classify you as having a poor credit score, a good credit score, a very good credit score, excellent credit score. So yeah, those are the different ranges for the credit score.
Mhm.
The thing is, it's really important to understand what are the components of a credit score, right?
Mhm.
The FICO score has many components that are really important.
Mhm.
Listen very carefully.
Okay.
The most important component of a credit score is the payment history. This is
Okay.
35% of your credit score. What is the payment history? That means
Wow.
they want to know how many on time payment you are doing. So when you get a credit, they want to be sure that you will be able to pay back your credit on time. And this
Yeah.
is 35% of your credit score, right? Just
Mhm.
imagine that you make like 100 on time payment,
Mhm.
1000 on time payment, and one day you miss one payment for whatever reason.
Yes.
Your credit history will never be 100 again, just because you missed that one payment, and that will
Mhm.
sink your credit score. So when you decide to play the credit score game, you have to make sure that your your credit history is at
Mhm.
100. Otherwise, you will lose point. You can even
Oh, wow.
display those different components for the credit score.
Yes. Let me.
So another important component. So the first one, as I said, is, yeah, 35% is the payment history. So you have to
Mhm.
make sure you pay on time. 30% is the amount of debt. What is the amount of debt? They want to see how much debt you owe, right?
Yeah.
So, and the amount of debt that you have also relate to credit utilization.
Mhm.
It's usually better to stay on the 30% of credit utilization. That means if you have a $1,000 credit card, to
Mhm.
look good in front of the lender, you need to use 30% or less of that 1,000.
Okay.
So that means technically you just use $300 in your 1,000 credit card.
1,000. Mhm.
This is to show the lender, hey, see, I have a lot of credit, 1,000, but I'm just using 30%. So you are a good slave. You don't use a lot. But a
Yes.
lot of people, 300 is not enough for them to be
Mhm.
able to support all their monthly responsibilities. So how do you
Mhm.
do to stay below the 30%, you need to open a second credit card so you can
Mhm.
increase your credit limit. And then you will see people taking three, four, five, six credit card just because they want to make sure that they use a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and all together they don't max out the 30% of the credit card.
Mm.
That's how you
Mm.
end up having a lot of credit card.
Yes.
50% is the length of credit history. That means the more you stay into debt, the better you look
Better.
to the lender. So
Yes.
50% of your score is how long you keep your credit. And guess what? If you close a credit account, your credit score will drop.
Drop. Yes.
If you pay off a debt, your credit score will drop. So if you
It's
want to have a
crazy.
very nice credit score, just keep your credit card open, right?
Mm. Okay.
10% is new credit. That means for you to have a nice credit score, you also need to have new credit every time
Right.
because that will
Mhm.
count for 10% of your credit. And the last 10% is the credit mix. That means
Mhm.
if you only have credit cards, you won't be able to achieve an excellent credit score. For you
Okay.
to have an excellent credit score, you need many different type of credit. You need
Mhm.
car loans, you need credit card, mortgages, and so on and so forth. So when you look at this chart, you see that everything is about your relationship with debt.
Mm.
How long am I staying into debt? And this is something, credit is the most marketed product in North America. They
Yes.
invest a lot of money because
Right.
this is a system. Now, when you get your paycheck, you were talking about planning. The first thing
Mhm.
you're afraid of is, I should not miss any credit payment. So the first thing you do is to pay your lender. That's why there are so there are people, they can't even eat, but they make sure they pay their credit first
Mm.
because they want to look good. So
Mhm.
all those 30%, 35%, you see nowhere your income. So
Mhm.
the credit score is not a reflection of your income.
Yes.
And as I said at the first episode, even if I transfer you $1 million right now, it doesn't affect your credit score. And
Now.
why do you need a credit score? To borrow money.
Yes.
That's the only use
Mm.
of the credit score here in North America. You need a
Mhm.
credit score just to borrow money. So
Mhm.
when you land in the US, people will tell you you need a credit score. Why? So that means you already prepare yourself to be borrowing money. So
Yes.
you try to be a good slave to the system
Mhm.
because every time when you will have your money, you will make sure you pay on time to have a wonderful credit history. You will make sure that, okay, you stay into debt. You shouldn't pay off all your debt because if you pay off your debt, you will not have a good credit score. So
Mhm.
that's a game that was created to keep people poor and
Yeah.
make sure that you stay into debt to look
Mhm.
good in front of the lender because this
Wow.
is all you use your credit score for, is just to borrow money. And
Mhm.
you borrow, you pay back so that you can borrow more money.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow. Mhm.
definitely a credit score is not something that is a reflection of your wealth. Not at
Okay.
all. Yes.
Wow. Wow. It is just something that measure your credibility to
To pay
pay
back.
back what you owe.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. You really explained that as if you were explaining to a 10-year-old. That was easy to understand. Now, is so from there, are you saying we should not get into debt to build a credit score? So what is your stand?
Yes,
Would
absolutely.
you advise someone to take to take I mean a newcomer in the US to get a credit card after some time to build a credit score or to function with cash? What is your take on that?
If someone asks me the question, I will say, okay, with the explanation I just gave,
Mm-hmm.
why do you need a credit score for? To
Okay.
borrow money. Th-
Yes.
that's all. So
No, wait, sorry. So the person will say, I need to build the credit score to get my first car loan and eventually in few years to get a house because I did a
absolutely.
credit score. Yes. Good.
Absolutely correct. So that's why I'm saying that He needs to build a credit score to borrow money, because when you
Yeah.
talk about car loan, this is borrowing money.
Yeah,
Mortgage,
absolutely.
you borrow money. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how the system is made. When you come here, this is what is like, this is taught to everyone. You need a
Mm-hmm.
credit score. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they make you believe you cannot survive here without borrowing the money. The
Mm-hmm.
more you borrow the money, the more you make the system happy and the system works. So
Mm-hmm.
now, to answer your question directly, you don't need a credit card. If the person asks me, I will say you don't need a credit card if you plan to use your own money to do your stuff. You don't need a credit score to buy a car. And we will come into that. You don't need a credit score to buy a house. Yes, you do not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a credit score to buy a house to get a mortgage. This is
Yes,
something really surprising, right? But
it
you
is.
don't need a credit score. Remember, when you play that game, you have 5 credit score. Whatever you play the game, right? You will
Mm-hmm.
forget one day because stuff happen. You will forget one
Mm-hmm.
day to pay one of the credit card, and that will sink your credit score. And now, because you are playing that game, you will need to do a lot of efforts again to bring back your credit score, right? It
Mm-hmm.
takes just 1 second for your credit score to drop, but it can take 6 months for you to come back to that. And how do you
Mm-hmm.
come back? You stay into debt, you pay on time, you open new credit, we just show the chart so that you can build your credit, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when you have 5 credit cards, right? Life happen. You
Mm-hmm.
now extend your credit limit, right? And you say, no, I will not use it, I will not. But life happen. One day something happen, and you end up using the credit card, and you are not able to pay. And now, to even push people to take more credit, to open credit card, they came up with reward credit card. And the person will tell you, no, I'm using this credit card because I'm getting reward. And when you
Mm-hmm.
say I'm getting reward, like 1% cash back, so I'm using my
2%.
credit card and I get 1% cash back. Let me tell you this. You know what is 1% of 10,000?
What
One
is that?
percent of 10,000 is $100.
$100. Yes.
So that means you have to spend 10,000 to have $100.
Absolutely. Yes. That's
That
right.
doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. If I have to spend 10,000, $100 is not an amount that change your life. You agree with me?
I
Now,
do.
when people started to become aware, they say, 1% is not much. They change. They now
Mhm.
came with the point
Yeah.
principle. Like, when you
Mhm.
make a purchase, you have 10,000 points. And you say, oh, 10,000, it sounds different. It's no longer 1%. So you will see someone with, I have 455,000 points in my credit card. But now,
Mhm.
when you want to translate those points into actual dollar, this is like
Cash.
$35.
Mhm.
Because emotionally you feel like I have a lot of points, and this
Mhm.
push you to even spend more because
More.
you want to
Yes.
gather more points. But at the end of the day, those points, they are not worth it. And the system is made for you to believe you need a credit score so that you can get a car. There are other ways of getting in a car.
Yes, we'll talk about it in the next in the next series of questions. So now, give me 4 points and what are some common mistakes immigrants make early on that completely destroy their credit score without them realizing. Just give me some point. What
I
are the
will say
mistakes?
this. The credit score, the credit system is something that is out for years.
Yes.
Don't think you are the smartest person that will play the system. They've done a lot of research and they win every time. Don't think that you can beat that system. It is in
Mm-hmm.
place for 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play the credit history thing, one day for whatever reason, you might miss one payment for whatever reason, your credit
Mm-hmm.
will tank, and they are just there to wait that point where your credit tank. Now, if you want to keep your credit utilization very low, you have to open multiple credit card. And because
Yes.
you open multiple credit card, it become even harder for you to track them.
Mm-hmm.
And one day you will forget to pay one of them and your credit score will go down. The length of credit you will be paying. There are people, we will talk about car loan, but there are people, they will say you will always have a car loan. You will hear
Yeah.
people saying that you will always have, we are in the US, you will always have a car loan. So this is something normal. Why? Because when you are paying off your car, your credit goes down. So you have, when you are almost done with your car payment, to take another car loan so you can keep with the credit history, so you can look good, a good slave in front of the master.
Master.
So
Yeah.
those are stuff that will make people tank their credit. Play the game will tank your credit. So don't even start playing that game, because you only need a credit score to borrow money.
Hmm.
If you don't plan to borrow money, you don't need a credit score. And I can tell you, without credit score, you can of course buy a car, and you can also get a house without a credit score.
Yes. There are ways. I mean, we'll talk about this. So what you're advising someone who just moved in the US is to hold on credit cards. Is that
Yes,
what you're saying?
you don't need it.
And to never even get a credit card.
Don't get it. Don't get
But
it.
okay. Okay.
I will tell
Okay.
you the truth. It's only used to borrow money. And if you want to borrow a money,
But how can the person, can you have like, if you cannot have 40,000 to get a good car for your family? On the first episode you told us that you had to get a better car for the safety of your family. And now that car costs a lot of money. So you're actually advising someone to pay cash, those 50,000 cash.
I will advise someone not to get a 50,000 car, because he cannot afford it. So now, let's talk about car loans, because this is
Okay,
something
yeah.
that a
Let me, before we get into it, let me ask you, I'll just ask you the couple of questions, and then you answer all these questions at one time.
okay.
So okay, let's move on to the car loan now. So it's a debate that is going on, the debt, the car loan, the credit card. Now let's focus on the car loan. So this is something that gets a lot of immigrant, a lot of us. Car loan. Should someone, this is the first part of the question, should someone new in the US finance a car to build a credit score? I mean, I guess you've answered part of it. Or to buy one with cash. Is it wise to get a car loan as a new immigrant? I understand that you don't recommend getting a car loan, but if someone has to take a car loan, what is the smartest way to do it without getting trapped? And then, should they buy used or new? What are the red flags to watch out at dealerships?
A
I
dealership, you mean?
Yes, at dealerships when you go. I mean the car sellers.
Yeah, I mean the dealership, not the dealership.
Ah,
The
the
still.
stealer. I forgot that last time you mentioned that new word that I've never heard before, and that represent exactly what they are. Yes. So I don't know if you got all the
Oh yeah,
points
yeah,
of the
yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah.
So yes, we are all ears.
So let me tell you how, when you go to a dealership to get a car. I already said that I don't advise a car loan, but I want everyone in the chat or listening to this, if you already
Yes.
went to a dealership, I'm sure you will agree with me. So when you go to the dealership, a lot of people, they don't even know what kind of car they are looking for. They don't have a budget. They just
Mm-hmm.
go there and they say, okay, uh, I want a car. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? The dealer will bring you in the lot and show cars to you. And right there, this is where everything will start. They will
Yeah.
say, so what do you do? What is your job? Oh, I'm an engineer. They say, okay, oh, good. That's nice. I'm a researcher. Oh, I'm a teacher. All
Mm-hmm.
those information. they are already starting to steal you. So there is no like naive question that they ask. They will ask you, okay, now you guys are looking for cars, and they will ask, okay, what is the monthly payment that you are looking for? They say, I'm trying to stay around $600 per month. You are
Mhm.
giving response in a very naive way. They are
Yes.
getting you. What kind of car? I don't really know. I want an SUV. I want. So you go and get advice from the dealership. Now, when you guys go back inside now, you already released really important information. Your job
Mhm.
title, right?
Mhm.
So they can imagine how much money you are making. You
Yes.
already gave an information like you want your car loan to be around $600 a month.
Mhm.
So what they will now do, let me tell you this: the dealership or the dealership, they don't make money selling car. They make
Mhm.
money in the finance office. So
Yeah.
when they know that you target 600 as a monthly payment, even if your car payment is 300, they will
Mhm.
add a lot of stuff in your
Mhm.
car to reach that 600, and they will come and say, hey, guess what, we just approve you for $598, and you say thank you very much. You think that they save you because they took that information, and what people are focusing on is how much am I paying per month. They don't
Yeah.
even look what is the out the door price, how much the
Mhm.
car is costing me. They just want to know how much they pay for a month. Eh,
Yeah.
and this is where they get you, and they will make sure you pay your 600, and they can even extend up to 84 months to meet that amount.
Mhm.
A- and what happen is they will add a bunch of crap. This is how I call it. When you buy a car, you listening, if you have a car note, go and look at the documentation. They will sell you pen protection, that we need to protect the pen of your
Yeah.
car. They will sell you key protection, extended warranties. A
Yes.
study show that extended warranty usually cover less than no, not yet. So usually cover less than 20% of the problem that you will encounter, right?
Mhm.
So when you
Mhm.
take an extended warranty, you think that you are covering yourself, but the day
Mhm.
you will really need a car repair, you will go there and they will show you a fine print saying that, oh, this particular problem you are having is not covered in the extended warranty. Nitrogen. Oh,
Mhm.
we put nitrogen in your tire so the tire will never lose air. Those are the
Yeah.
crap that they sell people. Gap
Mhm.
insurance. And because you are broke, you will get gap insurance. So they will load your document with a lot of stuff and make sure that you have the 600 that you are looking for.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, they can extend your loan term just to make sure that you reach the 600. So
Yes.
if you are listening to this, open your car loan document. Everything that you have the extended warranty, go and cancel it. They will refund you the money, right? Many people they don't know this. They will refund you the money. If you are financing the car, they will not send you a check, but they will send the money to the bank that is actually financing the car, and this will reduce your loan amount.
And let me, before you continue, let me just give my testimony because it's right on spot. So my friend Donna here actually helped me or helped my family, my husband and I to save 9,000. I remember we bought our two cars right away, cash. But when you went to the finance office, oh my gosh, there's so a lot of extra stuff, extended warranty and stuff, and the bill keeps increasing. I mean, we didn't pay all part, but most of it, like the two-third of the car, right away. And then it was like, you keep it adding stuff. Okay, we will spread this on your leather car seat. We will add this, the windshield protection, all those protections and stuff. And then I noticed we were like 12,000 more on both cars. I spoke with him a couple of weeks or months after. And he said, go get your documentation and look. You will see some of them or most of them will have an expiration date. Check for those and then go back and asked them. And then I was able to get 9,000 back because I couldn't get the other ones because when they put something on your car, you
Yeah,
cannot get it back. I
absolutely.
was so happy for that, that I'm so grateful for the conversation I had with him, sharing all those tips and strategies to, yes, that was just to drop that testimony.
No,
And again,
absolutely.
thank you so much. That knowledge and that information, we're ready to share everything without keeping anything for yourself. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. You saved me
Abs-
$9,000.
a- and you know, when you broke and you go buy a car, you are a nice client for the dealership because
Yes.
they will sell you everything. Why? Because you broke and you are buying a car you can afford. They will tell
Yeah.
you, oh, you know what? You need an extended warranty. Now those cars they have like fancy technologies. If this blah blah blah, and you will buy. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
There are cars that so when you buy a brand new car, it
Mm-hmm.
comes with 5 years, 60,000 mile
Yes.
powertrain warranty, and they will say,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, if you get an extended warranty, we will give you 5 years, but 80,000 miles." And you say, "Oh, okay, they are extending." But guess what? From day zero to 5 years and 60,000 miles, the manufacturer is already covering. So technically, they should give you 80,000 miles at the end of the manufacturer warranty so
Mm-hmm.
that you can go up to 120,000 mile. But they will say their 80,000 mile actually start the same day. So technically they are selling you 20,000 mile protection.
Mm-hmm.
And the warranty will end exactly when the trouble start in the car. Because for the first 80,000, we don't expect a brand new car to have problems. And
Right.
they did the studies and they know no one is using the extended warranty. That's why they
Right.
sell it to people. So
Mm-hmm.
look at your document. Guess what? They wanted to sell me like lifetime oil change. When you hear
Yes.
lifetime oil change, you say, oh my God, obviously I will change oil in my car. So a lifetime oil change? And they were selling that at $800. And guess what? The study
Mm-hmm.
shows that American move every 5 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm talking to you, the study show that I'm not sure to stay here for more than 5 years. So when they sell you lifetime oil change, first of all, you will not stay there your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Second, you won't have that exact car for your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So you might do like a couple of oil change and then move because going for a job, a work somewhere else, and they keep your money. And a lot of people will take that lifetime oil change, and this you are just making the dealership rich. And during the buying process, every time to make sure you take everything, when you will try to negotiate, listen, they will say, okay, I'm going to talk to my manager. Now, the sale guy will just go to the bathroom and come back and say, okay, the manager, he just removed $200. You know why? This is a powerful technique. He's just telling you that he doesn't have the power
Mm-hmm.
and he is advocating for you with his boss. So he just go to the like doing a turn at a coffee machine and come back. You believe him, right? You believe that this is all that can be done, and you will just lock yourself in a car loan. So don't get a car loan because when you get a car loan, that simply means you are buying a car you cannot afford. And because you
Mm-hmm.
cannot afford a car, they will sell you gap insurance. What is a gap insurance?
Yeah.
Gap insurance is what they say when you buy a car, let's say the car is 20,000, but because they will sell you a bunch of crap, you can like have a car note of 30,000. So you will
Mm-hmm.
borrow 30,000 at a bank, but your car is just worth 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get involved in an accident and your car is total, you own the bank 30,000, but your car is only worth 20,000. So the gap insurance will pay the gap between what you owe to the bank and what your car is actually worth.
Worth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, when they sell you gap insurance, remember the car is not yours until you pay off. So that
Mm-hmm.
means you pay the insurance to protect the bank.
Mm-hmm.
You get the car, It's not your car, and you have to get insurance to protect the bank, so that if the car is total in an accident, the bank get the money back. But what do you
Mhm.
get back? Nothing. So it's really important for you when you broke, they sell you the car, they sell you the money, and because they sell you not only the car, they sell you the car and the money, you pay interest on the money. Never buy a new car. That was part of your question. Never. Because when you drive that car out the lot, it is a used car. The 1 minute you drive it out of the lot, it is a used car. And used car, usually a brand new car loses like 20% of its value in the first year. So if you pay a 50,000 car, when you leave the dealership, is already 10,000 that you just burn. So your car is now worth 40,000. And after 3 years, it loses 40,000 of the value. This is 20,000. And after 5 years, it loses 60% of the value. So you just turn a $50,000 car into a $20,000 car. And guess what? You pay 10,000 in interest. So you turn 60,000 into 20,000. That's
Mhm.
how bad it is to buy a brand new car. So if you want to buy a car and you have money, look for a 5 years old car, because a stupid guy already bought the depreciation of that car.
And then to add to that, before you continue, Dave Ramsey, a huge financial guru here, he recommends to buy a new car only when you are $1 million worth and you pay cash. You pay that cash.
Hmm.
But if not, if you don't meet those requirements, it's not worth it to buy a new car. If not, you will only be losing your money. So,
And you know why I insist not to get a car loan? For this reason. When you're an immigrant, we usually forget about what is the true cost to own a car. When you're
yes.
an immigrant, you are new to the system. So you
Mhm.
have no driving history, right?
Mhm.
Your car insurance will be high no matter what. Even if you have been driving back home for 30 plus years, they don't have your driving history. So you are
Yes.
considered at risk. For the first time, your insurance will be high. Now, the average new car payment in the US is $752 per month. If you take a
Oh.
car loan of 752, and then because you are new, the bank force you to take insurance full coverage because they want to protect their
Mhm.
stuff. And when you
Mhm.
take full coverage, it might cost you like 250 because you are new, they don't know your record. And if I also want to factor gas that you will put into the car and potential repair, we are talking about $1,000 that you spend per month on a depreciating asset. So
Mhm.
the true cost of owning a car is not just your monthly payment. It's
Yes.
not just your car loan. You have insurance as a new immigrant that is expensive, and you have the gas like 1,000. What I will recommend is get a used car. We have that assumption that new car are more reliable. False. False. That new car, the minute you drive out of the lot, is a used car. So don't think you are driving a new car forever. It is a used car. So they are used car that are just as reliable, if not even more reliable than new car. Get a car in cash. If you get a 5,000 car, for example, just to move from point A to point B, because that's your car, no one is forcing you to take full coverage for your insurance. You can just take liability because you are new. Your liability will be still a little bit high, but it will be lower than the full coverage.
Mhm.
Now that you are in the US, you can drive for a year without any history of accident. Your car insurance cost will go down if you have no incident or accident, right? First of all, you don't have a car payment. Second, you just take liability to reduce the cost. And after a year, you will be in the system with a clean driving record, and your insurance will go down. Now, when you buy a 5,000 car, this is maybe a 10 or 15 years old car.
Mhm.
Because the depreciation is already gone, that same 5,000, you can sell it at 5,000. So while you are driving that 5,000 car, just save your money. If you have
Mhm.
another 5,000, you just sell that car and now you get a 10,000 car. And this is how you upgrade slowly, slowly, you upgrade to get a nicer car.
Mhm.
So if you look at the car debt in America, is more than $1 trillion. Can you imagine? More than $1 trillion. People are owning more than $1 trillion into car loan. So when I talk about the average car loan in America for a new car is 752. For a used car is 525 per month, right? If you take those 752 and you invest in good mutual fund for the same length, because the average also length of loan is 68 months, this is almost 6 years. If you invest that for the same 6 year, you have 73,000. And
Mhm.
if you just say, hey, I just moved to the US, I want to use this and my first decade in the US to sacrifice and work hard. If you just keep no car payment for a decade in the US, we are talking about 153,000 $153,000 at
Mhm.
the end of your first 10 years in the US. With that money, you can buy any kind of car that you want. So I
Mhm.
will never recommend someone to get a car loan, especially as a new immigrant, because everything is more expensive, the insurance and everything. Now there are people listening to this; they are already in a car loan, and they might ask, "Okay, what do I do? How do I get out of the car loan?" Well, the first thing, look at your document. If you see, if there is a nitrogen that they put in your tire, unfortunately you cannot get back the money. If you see pen protection, unfortunately you cannot get back the money, because those are stuff that they will say you already use it. But look for extended warranties. Cancel the extended warranty. Look for gap insurance before you cancel. Make sure, check the value of your car, check how much you owe to the bank. If there is a big gap that you cannot afford, if something were to happen, don't cancel the gap insurance. If it's the opposite, just cancel it and bring and the money back. And if you really want to get out of that car, what I would recommend is don't sell the car back to the dealer.
Mhm.
Do your due diligence. Try to sell your car privately. Why
Mhm.
privately? Because when you look at, if you sell to the dealer, they will buy it at retail price. And the
Mhm.
retail
Yeah.
price is they buy it to make money, right? So they will
Mhm.
buy low to sell high, right?
Mhm.
Put it in Facebook a marketplace. Try to sell it for top dollar. And now, if you are upside down also mean you owe to the bank more money than the car is worth. So if you
Mhm.
want to sell the car and get the title, you need to bring the gap. Let's say, let's take an example. You own 20,000 to a bank and your car is only worth 15,000. So you have 5,000 gap, right? If you want to get rid of the car, just go to the bank, take a personal credit, a personal loan for maybe 7,000. 5,000 you pay off your loan and you get a 2,000 car. Drive that 2,000 car, save your money, and then upgrade as you go. So don't buy a brand new car. You are throwing money away. Don't buy at a dealership. Don't take a car loan, because they will steal your money selling you crap. If you're already inside, check your document and make sure you cancel everything that you can.
Wow. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Such great details and helpful information you just gave. It just reminded me of our conversation that really saved me 9,000
That car
out
is
of the
not worth it. And guess what? When you're driving at a traffic light and you see a nice car, what do you say? Oh wow, that's a really nice car. You don't even pay attention to the driver. So no
Yes,
one cares about what you drive. They don't even notice, right? You will just say that's a
that's
nice
right.
car and look at the car and go. So if you're buying cars to impress people, well, I'm sorry. Many of them they don't even notice that you are the driver.
The driver. Yes, that's right. That's right. Thank you so much for such insight. Thank you. So he's advising no car loan as new immigrant, no car loan. Buy something you can afford cash at first and then save up and upgrade later on. And
Correct.
if you already have a car loan, the best thing to do is to check your documentation and see what extra stuff you took initially and get that money back. It's
Correct.
not worth it. And then plan your finances in a way that later on you can buy your dream car cash. Don't need. Now let's answer this question from Jomi Masumbe. So, how can you buy a house without a credit score? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And yes, just shoot a quick answer on that
Yeah,
before we move on to
absolutely.
the last.
That's a great question. And so
Mhm.
if you don't have a credit score, which is different from having a bad credit score, really
Mhm.
important to differentiate. Having no credit score is different from having a bad credit score. They will
Yeah.
do what they call manual underwriting. So for the
Mm-hmm.
manual underwriting, the credit score is just a number, as I mentioned earlier, where they will just look at the number and say you are a good slave, so you will pay back. But with the manual underwriting, they will just check, are you renting? They will make sure that they will look at your rent bill. Are you paying your rent on time? Are you paying your cell phone bill on time? So a real human will actually check your document, your bills, and see if you are paying your rent or whatever bill you have on time. And in addition to that, if you have a sizable down payment, so that means you are not borrowing too much money that you cannot afford, you have a
Mm-hmm.
good income, and you just want to borrow just a little bit of money, they will give you the mortgage, and they will give you the mortgage at an interest rate that is similar to someone with an excellent credit score. They just
Mm-hmm.
need to check that you pay everything on time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, the other option is also to, as you said, just a huge down payment. So now let's move on to the last part of our discussion, which is how to pay off debt faster. For people who have already in debt, who are already in debt, who have debts living paycheck to paycheck, struggling, they don't know where to start, they don't know how to take from where they are. What do you advise? What are the tips can you give to someone struggling with debts to pay off those debt quickly?
Absolutely. So I will take this example. If you have a credit card, $10,000 that you
Mhm,
own $10,000, the
mhm,
minimum payment is $30 per month, and
mhm,
the interest rate is 20%, and you just pay the minimum payment every month, you will never ever pay off that car. They will bury you with the card in your coffer. You will never pay back. Why? Because every month you will generate more interest than that minimum payment that you are paying. That's why
mhm,
you will see all those credit cards will have just a minimum payment. Very little for you just to keep paying the minimum payment. And after 20 years of payment, your debt will go into collection. But they already got back their money, like $25,000 on a $10,000 that they borrowed to you.
mhm,
So now, how do you pay off your debt? You need a plan. There are two strategies that you can adopt. You pick your plan and you just focus on that dedication and you go through. The first
mhm,
one is the debt snowball. The debt snowball is you list all your debt from smallest to largest, and you pay minimum payment on all those debt in that order from the smallest to the largest. Now, if you have a leftover money in your budget, you take that money and you pay on the smallest debt.
mhm,
So after a few months, that smallest debt will be paid off, and you will have not only the minimum payment from that smallest debt, and
mhm,
also the margin from your budget that you can combine together to attack the second smallest debt, and so on and so forth. The good thing with this approach is that it gives you quick wins. So
mhm,
as you move forward, you have some stuff to celebrate, right? That help with the momentum of paying. And a study actually showed that people using this method, they have a higher likelihood to go till the end of their debt-free journey compared to the
mhm,
other method that I will talk very soon. So
mhm,
just do your debt snowball, smallest to largest, and attack with a
mhm,
vengeance.
mhm,
So you can have 10 debt After a few months you have seven debt, so you feel that momentum of making progress. The second approach is debt avalanche for those that are more math savvy, right? uh, in this case you list your debt from the highest interest to the lowest
Mm-hmm.
interest, and you apply the same principle. You pay the minimum everywhere, and then the margin you attack the highest interest, the first debt, the highest interest, to make sure that you save much in interest that you pay, right? But
Yes.
I started with the example of if you have a $10,000 credit card at 20%, it can take you forever and you don't pay off that debt. So having high interest rate at the beginning can end up discouraging you, because you will be working hard paying and you don't really see stuff moving. And because you are not finishing that debt, you are not also reaching the one down, and you can feel stuck, like I'm working hard, I'm paying, but I'm not seeing the needle moving. So pick your method. If you are an emotional person, I believe finances is mainly emotional, like 85% emotion and just 15% math. Go with the debt snowball. If you are more of a math savvy person, go with the debt avalanche. But stick to your method and just stay focused.
Is there any price to pay when you're paying debt?
Absolutely. You have to sacrifice. I took the example. The bank will say, oh no, if you pay the minimum payment, you are fine. They will report you as a good slave because you pay the minimum payment. The only thing you don't know is that paying the minimum payment, you will never finish, or it will take you years. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to sacrifice to be able to pay more into your debt. And to be able to do that, that might mean getting more income, having a side
Yes.
hustle, or
Yes.
cutting your expenses, or
Okay.
both. Trying to get more income and also cut your expenses so you can increase your margin, because the margin
Okay.
is what will help you pay your debt faster.
Okay. Okay. You actually answered one of the question I wanted to ask. How about someone who has a moderate or low income? What on top of what you have said can you tell? I guess is earn more.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I would tell the person that financial peace is not about how much you make. It's
Yes.
about how much you keep, right? And if
Um,
every time that you make
uh,
money, you use all your money, you will stay broke, regardless of if you are making $50,000 a year
yes.
or $200,000 a year. So when you
Yes.
make 50,000, your prayer is, I wish one day I make 200. But as soon as you make 200, you start to say, oh, this car, I need a new car because I'm
Yeah.
making 200. I need a bigger house. So because I'm making 200, I need a new cell phone. Lifestyle creep. So what
Yeah.
makes you rich is that margin. If your salary increase and your expenses also increase, you will have the same problem. So if you
Mhm.
have a low salary, same principle, you need to know your number. How
Mhm.
much debt do you have? There are online calculator that can help you to know when you will be debt free by paying only the minimum payment. And you can
Yes.
play with those calculator by adding, what if I pay $100 more,
Mhm.
$200 more, $500 more? You will see your debt free date will also change. When you're
Yes.
happy and you say, okay, I want to go with $300 more. How do I get it? Well, I have to do side hustle. So after my
Okay.
job, I will go deliver food, do whatever, work in a warehouse to bring more money so that I can attack the debt. And something that people forget, just imagine, Lillian, you make $50,000 a year, you
Mhm.
have no debt, you have no mortgage, your house is paid off. So you don't pay rent, you don't pay mortgage, you don't have a car loan. And so the 50,000 is for you. Is that small?
No, it's
That
not.
that's a lot of money. People
That's a
just
lot of.
want to make more because they think that they can out earn their stupidity with money. You like this, right? You cannot. You will never out earn your stupidity with money. Even if you make more and you are stupid with your money, you will still feel broke.
Broke.
Broke is not about
Yes.
the number, it's about how much you make. You
Yes,
keep.
that's why 73% of people live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
It's just because of that. It's not that they don't earn money. And a lot of people making six figures or more, some are broke. You
Yes.
see those show on Dave Ramsey, or there's another one, I'll Teach You to Be Rich. He interviews couples. You see people earning $300,000, $400,000 a month combined.
Yeah.
But they are broke and you don't understand. How come? How
Yeah.
can they be this broke
Absolutely.
with that kind of money?
They have $1,500 per month car for the wife, 2,000 for the truck of the husband, and because of those are expensive cars,
Mhm.
insurance are also expensive. To fix the car is expensive. The gas consumption is expensive. It's just a cycle. When you get in,
Yes.
yeah, it never ends.
Money is a game, and you have to know how to play the game with the right rules. If you miss the right rule, you would just, and money is more emotional than numbers.
Absolutely.
All those
Absolutely.
things. That's why we accumulate a lot of bad habits, bad behaviors, thinking it's just numbers. When I
Yeah.
get more money, I'll get good, better behaviors. No.
Because it's emotional. That's why I feel rich.
Yes,
But I have nothing.
exactly. So, last question before I share with you one of the real scenario I have at hand coaching someone. What is the biggest mindset shift you believe us immigrants, need to make in order to thrive financially in the US?
Okay, yeah. So I think the first thing I will tell them is that credit is the most marketed product in the US. And you don't need a credit score to thrive in the US.
Okay.
Getting a credit score is to play the game. And
Hmm.
trust me, they are good at that. People
Hmm.
before you, they have tried. They thought
Yeah.
that they were the exception, and you are not.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Thank you. So I guess let's go to the scenario. So, Dr. Donald, are you ready?
I was ready.
Okay, let me give you a real life scenario for this episode that many of my viewers of uh in our community can relate to. So let's say I'm coaching Jack, and this is just a pseudonym and I'm using for privacy, of course. He's 35 years old, immigrant from Africa. He arrived in the US 2 years ago with big dreams, like all of us. Right now, he works two jobs, but maybe more. One in the warehouse during the day, and then another one during the night as a Uber driver. So he sent money back home every month, which he feels like he's obliged to, because his family is counting on him. His family completely depend on him. But here's the thing: he's drowning into credit card debts, about 10,000, I think, around that number, and he has no savings. He barely keep up with his rent. He recently took a car loan, paying around $450 a month, because the dealership told him it will help him build his credit score.
Of
So
course.
his credit score right now is like six oh two, and he feels trapped emotionally. He feels shame, of course, like like many of us struggling. And he feels like he's failing back home, helping his family, and as well here settling and trying to make a way in this country. He prays like he believe in God. He tithe at church. He work really hard, but he's exhausted and doesn't see any way out. So, tell me, you have Jack in front of you today. What will you say to him? Please, not just as a coach. Tell from a person of faith. Tell me what you will tell him.
I will tell him that welcome to America. That's
Okay.
the first thing. This is how it works here. And I will say, as a person of faith, I will say, the borrower is slave to the lender.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pick. Do you want to be a slave or you want to be free?
Mm-hmm.
Is really amazing because I will say, Jack, don't think that you are the only one in that situation. There are a lot of people. You
Mm-hmm.
see in the description, the guy is drowning, but he went and get a car loan. You are drowning and you get a
Mm-hmm.
car loan to
Mm-hmm.
build credit, to do what? So that they can borrow more money
Mhm.
later on. So this is how the system is. And now because he's drowning, I'm sure he have missed some payment. The credit score is not good, right? And what is
Mhm.
amazing is that when your credit score is not good, what do? They don't say, mm-mm, we don't lend you money. They say,
Mhm.
no, your interest is higher.
Yeah.
So you will pay more per month. How is someone not a good slave, but you give more money to the person? So I would have
Oh
appreciated
my
if the credit score say, okay, your credit score is bad, and we don't lend you the money, but they will just
God.
increase your interest rate. So I will tell him, know your number. How much do you owe total, right?
Mhm.
And their online calculator, plug your number and try to see when you will be debt free. If
Mhm.
you are okay with, because I can see that the guy is exhausted.
Yes, he is.
If
He is.
so, when you have your number and you have your date when you can be debt free, do your budget.
Mhm.
Your budget, and you know the budget is something funny. Everyone budget, but no one really budget. Do your budget to identify what are your source of income in total, what are your expenses in total per month. So it will help you identify your margin and
Mhm.
to see how you can use that margin in your advantage to pay off your debt. That might mean not sending money back home for a certain period, right?
Mhm.
Because you need that margin to work from you. When you are flying, even in the plane, you have your kids. They say when the oxygen mask comes down, what do? You put your mask first,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
You cannot help people if you are drowning. So you have to
Mhm.
take care of yourself first before you can help people. So do your
Mhm.
budget, like
Mhm.
identify your margin, stop helping people because you are the one needing help, and you have
Yeah.
to be transparent with that. And now pick one of the strategy that I've explained earlier: the debt
Yes.
snowball or the debt avalanche. Attack those debt with your margin. If you need more money, maybe you have to drive Uber longer. I will
Mm.
also ask him, sell everything you have at home. Every single thing. There are a lot of stuff that we don't use. When I say everything, I mean everything that there are a lot
Yeah.
of stuff at home that we don't use. You see, you
Yeah,
buy
right.
them and you end up you don't really use them. Sell them on Facebook, a marketplace. You can
Mhm.
even go there's what they call garage sale. I've done that
Mhm.
in the past. I
Mhm.
go to a garage sale. I will buy something like a bunch of things for like $10, and I will resell that in Facebook Marketplace to make money.
Yes.
And you apply to your debt. So know your number. Do your budget to identify your margin.
Mhm.
If you see that you cannot be debt free within 2 years, sell that car. You will get a nicer car later. You will get it. No worry. Now you are drowning and you need to save yourself. Sell that
Mhm.
car. And how do you sell? You use KBB, Kelly Blue Book, to know what is the value of your car. And you see
Mhm.
how you can get out of that car loan to get a car that won't have any car payment. Just imagine $400 back in his pocket per month.
Mhm.
That's a lot
Mhm.
of money. And maybe lower in insurance, like 500. That's a lot of money. So this
Mhm.
is what I will tell him. Know your number, identify your debt free date, do your budget, identify your margin, increase that margin by doing more job, like cutting your expenses, getting more income, sell that car if necessary, and attack your debt using one of the two methods, the debt snowball or the debt avalanche.
Okay, there's a question here. Do you have any specific book do you think everyone should read to be more aware about financial literacy?
That's a really good question. And yeah, I think I have a couple of books that I think is really interesting. And the easiest one would be from the Ramsey Forks. I will recommend the Total Money Makeover.
Mhm.
That's a
That's
great
a
one.
good one.
Yeah,
Mhm. That's a great one. Okay, I guess yeah, he asked for the book.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, YouTube it's another resources too. There's a lot of stuff. You go to a library, you get personal finance book. You get YouTube online.
yeah.
It's all over the place. Start somewhere,
Hmm.
and then yes, and then someone said, "Money won't make you rich" from Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Yes, that's a good one too. I've read that one.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a
but
good one.
yes, but to understand the system, American system, the total money makeover is, I recommend that as well. So let's round up. And do you have any last word of wisdom or encouragement to round up what we, or do you have something to tell someone who is overwhelmed, feeling like he's behind and kind of regretting coming to the US and thinking, did I really make the good move moving here? Or should I have just stayed back where I came from? Do you have anything to say to such people so that we can round up this episode?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say North America, the US is the easiest place to get rich. That's the first thing that I will tell
Mhm.
him. You're at the right place. Don't lose energy thinking about, am I at the right place? The
Okay.
second thing I will say is, don't be normal. Normal sucks. The system is
What do
made,
you mean?
yeah, normal mean coming here, playing the system, the credit score system, getting
Mhm,
credit card. I want a nice car. I want to get more credit, stay in credit so that my credit score can be really nice, so I can
mhm.
borrow more money and pay that money back so that they can borrow me more money. Don't be normal,
Yes.
be weird.
Mhm.
And yeah, and the third thing I will say, educate yourself. Really
Mhm.
important. I like the question about the book. Read when
Yes.
you can, educate yourself, because the system is made to make money. And if you don't educate yourself, you will be a good slave to the system.
Mhm.
And don't think that because people are here before you, they know everything. If
Yes.
not everyone is good with finances, math, and if you feel like you are that kind of person, look for help. Look for a
Mhm.
financial coach, a financial advisor. Avoid those selling product, because if I'm your financial coach and I also sell product, be very careful. That means I will just push you to buy my product. So you also have to be aware and be able to like discriminate between a salesman and a financial advisor. And
Yes, or someone who really have an interest in
yeah,
you. Mhm.
absolutely. And the last most important critical thing to do is to follow this channel and to subscribe, because
Yes.
we will provide tips like this like every month, to make sure that our fellow brother moving from Africa, they at
Right.
least have stuff that we didn't have when we moved here. So I think
Yes.
this channel is an amazing place to be, so that you can have the all the tips that you need to thrive in this environment. And I want to thank you again and congratulate you in this journey, and you know you have my full support.
I know, and I say thank you. Thank you so much for your unfailing support, for always being there in and out, counseling, tell me this, take this out, take this in. Thank you. I cherish your precious inputs. I value them. Thank you so much for being a great friend. Thank you.
Thank you for having
So, yes. What an incredible conversation with my friend, Dr. Donald. It was amazing. And I hope you got something from this. And I believe you surely get something. And if not, you can share with someone who can be helped, that can help. And yeah. So the live, those who are watching currently, thank you for staying. For those who stayed till the end, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for you to be that you're part of this community. Thank you so much. And there will be a replay. You can rewatch or send to someone who will be in need of it. And I hope something really click to use tonight. If not, the next episode will, I promise. For that, drop any topic you would like us to talk about in the next episode coming in a few weeks or more. It can be on investing, it can be on marriage, it can be on whatever whatever you feel like you want to know more about concerning the finances, the US system, and any other things. So I'll be watching the comment and after and during the replay just to see your input. So if this has helped you, just one, even just a little insight, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the coming episode. He's coming back again. This one is just nuggets of what we have stored, we have planned to share, to educate, to empower, to give some wisdom. And as I said, share with someone who might be interested. And if you haven't done so or in need, download the free resources I put in the description below. And lastly, don't forget, in all this we have said, you have to trust God. If you're drowning in debt and you don't know your way out, one essential thing is to believe God, to pray God, and to drop your cares into his hand because he cares for you. God cares on how we manage our money. And he's concerned about where we put our hands or where we put our hearts. Faith is not the enemy of wisdom. They go hand in hand. So thank you for being part of this family. Stay faithful, stay wise, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. God bless you.